true.
Friends, welcome to Battletech, Oath of Endosteel, Season 3, Episode 3, 3038, Part 8. We've got a couple of topics to cover in the very short term. Lady Khan is free to wander around with no previous engagements. Yusuf Wheat has been asked to meet with a mysterious contact about accepting a mercenary job. And Lachlan McDougal has been pulled into the world of intrigue as persecuted Christians have called upon him to join their numbers and want to know more about what's happening in the outside world of Christianity. And just to be aware, you have just come off of 6 hours of formal introductory parade. And tonight through the rest of the day will be Christmas Eve and a Christmas Day celebration, of which you are the special guests for a 24-hour ball, after which you will be asked to plan your own ball for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, of which you will need the following. You will need to find a form of entertainment, catering, decor, choosing the number of tables, the number of seats at each table, and who will be sitting at those tables, where those tables are placed, the theme of the event, and just to top it all off, there are 5 known factions on this planet, but there is a secret 6th faction. Discovering, contacting, and naming this faction is the point of your entire visit here. On top of, finding that information data that Lachlan wants so badly to get the second part of the Triffid code, he needs to find a secret supposed Starleak base that his wife left him.
Now remind me again why we cared about the 6th faction other than getting the code and getting out of here.
That is for the players' care, not the characters. The characters don't know that there's a 6th faction. I'm telling you.
Got it.
There's a 6th faction, and discovering them will get you bonus rewards.
Got it. Okay. I totally misunderstood. I thought it was something I was forgetting that our characters cared about.
Yeah.
No, your characters have no idea about the 6th faction yet.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's actually what Uncle Khan would be doing. Would be because she had hints of something, right?
Doing
that there
what?
was she would be investigating the planet and kind of understanding how to navigate it, and her goal is to find ways to protect her fleet and to find that data, right?
Very well. I will take a general etiquette or protocol. I'll take protocol. Sure. I believe etiquette is covered.
I don't think etiquette is a
I don't think
skill.
I think protocol falls
I
under.
think etiquette is a sub part of the protocol skill.
Oh,
okay.
In Destiny, Mechwarrior Destiny has a bunch of sub headings.
They just want to add on more skills. God damn it.
It's not. It just tells you negotiation, but it covers all these things. Just in
right. Okay, got it.
So go ahead.
I do have negotiation. Okay.
But you don't need negotiation for this. You're looking for protocol.
Yeah.
You need to navigate. So here's the thing. All of you are, except for Yusuf, the 2 of your houses are ethnically Japanese in origin.
Mm-hmm.
Lachlan McDougal is the name of a guy I assume wears a Sherlock Holmes cap and carries a shotgun out every weekend to go, get the geese. Oh, Lachlan McDougal, I'll see you down by the Mars today, sort of deal, right? But Lachlan McDougal...
Yeah, holding the shotgun that's cracked open on his arm, his forearm,
I
got you. Yeah.
When I hear Lachlan McDougal,
with the cap. Yeah,
I hate to stereotype it too much, but that's what I assume when I hear Lachlan McDougal. But Lachlan McDougal, his whole family specifically chose the McDougal name to walk away from their Japanese heritage because they realized that as a member of the Federated Sons, there might be a huge amount of racism towards tradition.
And they've deliberately tried to marry into more traditional Federated Son's ethnicity, so like by Lachlan's time, he doesn't look as ethnically Japanese, but yeah,
Whittington
is.
Whittington is a former Draconis Combine planet. Let's make no mistake here. Yohei Genji has a hidden castle next to a waterfall he goes to meditate at his dojo. Like, let's be clear that Whittington has a strong Japanese ancestry for sure. It's also got the smattering of Draconis Combine non-Japanese cultures, which is where Yusuf comes from as a Middle Eastern, North African Muslim Azami. Now it seems to me Eric has fully integrated Yusuf as like a traditional Federated Son citizen.
Inshallah.
But still, this is the culture he was raised in, right?
Yeah.
Right.
Some of that, nothing Muslim. Nothing Muslim present here. Nothing. Also, to be clear, nothing Christian present here. The only allowed religions under the Amakusa doctrine are Buddhism and Shintoism. But there are, when you look around and you look at you look at some rugs and you're like, this is not a traditional Japanese rug. Like, I'm walking through an area selling tatami mats, like to put down some flooring in your house, and that rug, that's straight up just Persian. There's also a very strong Star League / Texas culture here. Because
it's Japanese.
The people that they are organized from are the 124th Royal Heavies. This is a Star League outfit. It was not made up of Draconis Combine people. It was made up of citizens of Earth and Earth's closest allied planets. They just really liked Japanese culture a lot and made their whole unit theme around it. There is a strong Texas culture here. Like, you're walking down the street trying to like talk to people, introduce yourself, get a lay of the land around here, and there's like chili being sold at a miso cart. You're like,
but not with beans in it.
Oh, so this
tofu.
is just
it's tofu chili.
This is just Hawaii.
I was just making a joke about how Texas chili doesn't have beans in it.
Yeah. Is there macaroni salad on the side? Like, yeah.
Right.
Hawaii
has
macaroni
its own
salad.
unique and amazing
Congratulations.
culture.
You reinvented Hawaii.
I was talking about Hawaii today with my mom because she was like, you don't still have those canisters of Spam, do you? And I'm like, yeah, of course I do.
Yeah.
She's like, I thought you would eat them.
Shout
And
out
I'm
to
like, the salt level's so high. My doctor told me I'd die if I ate them.
I'm not Hawaiian cuisine is honestly the goated cuisine of them all.
And
seriously.
Just because you're looking around and you want to make the roll, I want to be super clear here. Meat is off the menu on this planet.
That's fine.
No. I mean, like, when you look around.
But we've only had lousy stinking bread for 3 days.
Okay, calm down. When you look around, there is occasional fish sources of protein. You never see like beef, turkey, ham, pork. None of that.
Not very Texan.
I wonder why it could be.
It's Japanese, maybe like because there's actually water here, and that's all they got.
I think a lot of Shinto folks who practice Shinto religions don't eat meat.
Let's make a roll. Now that I've given you the like precursor, because you've made the choice to look around, I'm giving you a baseline of what you're seeing.
And there are a lot of vegetarian Buddhists, I think.
Yeah.
So
I got 7 on the die. Plus 7 is 14. I am tempted to edge the 2 that I got.
Every 2 plus will let you ask an additional question.
Okay. So have I hit the mark, at least the baseline mark so far?
You needed a 12.
Okay.
I'd re-roll the 2. It seems like a good one to re-roll because,
this is like baseline information that like helps us navigate this culture.
Right now, your whole roll is basically based on the 5. So
yeah. And it was edge that allowed you to re-roll 1.
I'm cracking this bad boy open real quick. Hold on.
I remember. It's plot point 1, edge 2.
Okay,
and plot point is also the one that can bump up 1.
Yes.
Right. But you can choose to reroll 1 or 2 with edge, and it's plot point.
I think edge you have to reroll both.
I think in combat you can maybe choose to reroll one or both with edge, but I don't even remember.
I feel like it's been 2 weeks, so we've
Every
forgotten
fucking
already.
time.
I know. All right, I'm gonna reroll and we'll figure out which one I'm spending.
Reroll. Force a reroll of any one die using edge.
Yeah.
And then
I
plot
think you
points
choose
on
two.
page 36. Not with edge. Not with edge.
A 4 is a 2+. So I got a 16 total. So that's a 4 above.
Okay, you're right. Out of combat, you can use edge to reroll one or both dice. And then plot point is, hold on. This thing is horrifyingly bad. The thing I'm talking about is Adobe. You did push yourself up another 2 points, so you're going to be able to ask 3 questions.
Nice.
I
think it's valuable use.
Spending plot point. Ejection, something.
Oh, there's rules to this game?
Yes, lots of rules, unfortunately. Tons of rules, unfortunately.
Look, we've been kind of like making up as we go, right? That's how it goes.
No, that's not even remotely. I mean, if you want to watch me make things up as I go.
Well, I mean, while you're looking stuff up, I have no problem bantering. You know what? I'm so much itching for a fight playing against AP in Battletech, because the last time I played Battletech the last 2 times have been in person, and I got my ass kicked both times. I'm really looking forward to it.
Sure.
Yeah.
Because you'll beat me.
Well, yeah. Yeah, because you're the only human being who rolls worse than I do. So
Oh, wow.
I need it. I desperately need it.
The ego boost.
I brought single heat sink like stock mechs, that just like literally just ripped off the master unit list. 7,500 point battle value game. And I'm against like lances with like stealth lambs.
Ooh,
or not lambs, a
yikes.
stealth phoenix hawk. And like 2 Vulcans with plasma cannons, and I'm like, what do you? I'm just a guy. Like I brought a commando 2D. Like let me,
man.
you know what I mean? Like, yeah, like we don't even have this technology here. Like, for the record, for you, in case you don't know this, Eddie. So sorry if I'm I guess like 3061 technology explaining to you. A plasma cannon's like a PPC, but also does heat damage as well.
Oh,
it
cool.
overheats you.
Yeah, so it's like when I had the flamers on the what was the jumper that I had, the light mech.
But it gets worse.
Yeah,
I brought against that guy. I brought a Black Knight, which I think Sam knows how can attest to overheating that boy gets. Against plasma cannons is not a good. Oh, it looks, we might have an answer now.
Plot points allow you to reroll 1 die, so that's what you spent because you only rerolled 1 die here.
But edge you can do either. We just established.
Yes, that's true. Which one did you want to spend?
I'll spend the edge because the plot points I could use to boost something if I need to.
Sure. You can ask me 3 questions about the culture or etiquette of this planet. Okay. You don't have to decide them all at once. You can ask a question, based on an answer that I have. Yeah.
Sure. So I think the first thing that I want to find out is, how to best ingratiate myself into kind of the inner circles.
I don't think you have to. These people are throwing themselves to impress
the newcomers.
You. They are very welcoming of you. It seems like you're the first visitors they've had in hundreds of years. They may not have had a visitor since they landed here. You're their first indication that there is still human life outside of the system.
Interesting.
They are very interested in making you happy. It almost seems like they want to entice you to stay here. People are trying to, I don't want to say sell you real estate because they don't do that here, but people are trying to get you to understand them. They're not trying to like intrusively flood you with information, but they're just like, hey, you're not from around. I don't recognize you. You must be one of the outsiders. We all know each other. Do you need help? If you need a ride, just, use this communications channel. A ride, like one of our cars will come over and pick you up and take you to where you need to go. It doesn't look like you pay for things here.
Yeah.
There is no exchange of currency. People just get food. They go into... There are tons of museums, parks, fisheries. All of the materials here use almost no plastic. And the people here are so proud of it. Like they're just like, oh, I see you're walking past my house. Perhaps you'd like an explanation of how my grandfather made it. They are super, super welcoming and would love to tell you whatever you want. You do not need to ingratiate yourself to the people of Karkari.
Okay. Yeah, so I think from that, I think it's kind of like, so my goal, my two major goals are protecting my fleet and finding the data, or like figuring out how to find the data. So I think we already have a rough idea of who has that data, right?
I mean, there is a command structure here of the five departments, and
they're pretty much already throwing themselves at us. So that way, we don't necessarily need to get in with them.
Do you want to ask about the data?
I'm wondering if I want to be more obtuse and not necessarily like ask directly about the data, but like asking about how they study things, like the education, maybe the like how they maintain some of their technology and that sort of stuff. I'm gonna also kind of put this out there to the group to help me think about the two questions, because I'm kind of floundering a little bit about how to ask something specifically centered around those goals.
I'm not super clear what you're trying to get. You're trying to get the signal we're looking for?
So trying to essentially find, I'm trying to understand the culture so that way we can more successfully get the information that we're looking for, and also see if there's a way for us to not necessarily obtain, but maybe learn about or be able to figure out how to fabricate some of the technology that they have here, if not obtain some of the technology they have here. Because I know that we talked about they can't fabricate anything right now, or some of the things that they have here. So the goal is to find the technology to protect the fleet, and find that information, and do that from like understanding the culture and navigating it. Does that make sense?
Which of those is a bigger priority to you? Which one do you want to tackle?
Sounds like you want to know everything. I'm not sure how to break that down.
Yeah, it's fair. The big priority for me is to find the data.
Okay.
And to get access to the data.
It's a montage. It's a very fast montage. You just ask somebody about getting sensor data. It's you getting in like a IFV. It looks like a infantry transport on the outside, and it has a turreted laser cannon on the top of it. You get in the back, and it's like a luxury passenger vehicle. It drives itself back to Congress, which again is a Congress class frigate, which they deorbited and now uses their command structure. They've built their only city around the Congress. You ask about the data. 5 minutes later, you're with a number of personnel who are wearing either teak or gold rank bars. And you're just, bam, data. None of that shit matters. You're looking at enhance. You are looking at a Phoenix Hawk land air mech that is crashed into the side of this mystery jump ship. Enhance. They have sent their local like Star League Defense Force era space defense system, like fighters, to intercept it. They don't get anywhere near close enough, but their sensor packages are so good, enhanced. You look at the serial number and the pilot name on that Phoenix Hawk Lamb. It has smashed into the side of this jump ship near a docking bay port. So it looks like it was trying to land and it crashed into it. The numbers seem familiar to you, even though only half of them are available. And then you read Baron Paul Khan as the name of the pilot written on the Phoenix Hawk Lamb. People around you are speaking in a mix of Japanese and English, and all you hear is whoa, 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 as you're just like, this is my fucking dead husband who disappeared is on the thing we're looking for. Maybe. Is he dead? He's been gone for like years.
All right.
So they're very clear with you that mech has not always been on this jump ship. So the jump ship appears randomly in this system and sends out some sort of signal transmission from it and then jumps again. It only appeared in the last 2 years. The Phoenix Hawk Lamb crashed into the side of it. When it appears, they always try to track it down and like intercept it. They never get close enough in time. It jumps out. They theorize it like emergency jumps out whenever they get close enough to try to make a pass at it.
So it potentially has a similar classification as the special jump ship we have with that
The
extra
lithium
battery
ion battery, yes.
The lithium ion. Okay.
I want to go to somebody else before we answer your third question, but I'm going to write down here your third question because it feels like maybe you need a minute to process that and maybe ask some follow-ups, maybe ask about some other stuff. Who do we want to follow from here on out?
I say we jump over to Eric, because I feel like before the last couple of weeks, we had a bunch of really Lachlan-heavy episodes in a row. So giving some other folks some spotlight, I think, is a good idea.
Yusuf of the Azami, you're going to this mercenary meeting?
Absolutely.
You find yourself driving through something called New Dallas.
How's traffic?
So the cars are mostly automated. You can still drive a car if you want to, but because most of the cars are automated, like when you start accelerating, all the other cars accelerate at the exact same time. Right? So like waiting at a stoplight, if you're 10th in line, you don't have to wait for the other 9 cars ahead of you to get their shit together. Traffic just like moves instantly. So even if you could say traffic is heavy, which
almost like a train.
Yeah. Everything just, it's so smooth. It's buttery smooth out here. You're looking at huge fields. You're a wheat guy. I mean, it's not just your last name, but the meta wheat grown on Whittington, that's a solid, nutritiously rich grain right there that you've worked with your entire life. These are rice people, and they have the same automated system that you do, just on a much bigger scale. They don't just, the bots here don't just harvest it. They ship it, they process it, they like deliver a package to everyone's house every day. People just get like would you call it like a rice consignment or something? They just get like a package of rice outside their house every single day. You're like watching it happen, like a robotic delivery device, just like mailbox, packet of rice.
AP, quick question. I'm not the only one in this car, right? I brought someone with me to this meeting.
Sure.
I always bring my probably brought my second.
Samuel Barrett.
Absolutely.
All right. Barrett is whistling a jaunty Irish tune.
It's a long way to Tipperary.
He's not interested. Like, he's seen fantastic stuff before. He's seen shitholes. This planet may be surprising, but it's nothing too surprising for him. He is preparing himself for violence. He's steadying his mind in his own way to prepare that this meet is a betrayal. He wants to be physically, spiritually, and emotionally ready for violence. So this is his way of doing it, is to fall back on. Because this is a guy who plays 5D chess. He's got the tactical genius.
And like everyone knows, if you're like the second in command in a high stakes meeting, like you're the one who gets killed, you know, and to make a point. So like, yeah, you're definitely on edge. But you know, I'm looking out the window and I'm like, Samuel, do you think we should just get out of this mercenary game, get into this meta rice business?
Well, I think you'd be in a better position to answer that than me, sir. Somehow I don't see a wolfhound picking up rice very easily.
Yeah, something wolfhounds to plowshares.
I have to tell you, sir, this is a very unusual planet. Very unusual and peculiar indeed.
Oh, look at that. And like I'm pointing out like an SLDF combine.
So something that's really big in this particular neighborhood is barbecue and the history of barbecue. But what you're noticing as you roll through here is people are tearing down a house, and the materials seem to be like being recycled as nearly to on the spot as possible.
Wow.
No one, it doesn't look like this thing is being torn down for any particular reason. It's not like condemned, it's not damaged or anything. They're just removing it apart. In the process of that, they're removing objects from the house, and it looks like lots of poetry, painting, artworks. Like all these houses, if the other houses in this neighborhood are anything like this house, people's houses must be stuffed full of cultural items. And as you are driving through the New Dallas suburb neighborhood, there are museums, artistry. There's like a butterfly dome.
You know,
you're not seeing factories, places to work.
Yeah. Well, this place is about barbecue, though, right?
There are a number of places dedicated to the history of barbecuing and the art of performing it.
Yeah. Well, so I get to exposit to Sam here. To Beckett, not you, Sam. I love you, Sam. You probably already know this, but I get to go. Back in did you know that back in Terra, Buccaneers, they're like a form of pirate.
He smiles because he's Samuel Barris, so of course he knows about pirates.
Yeah. Well, there was a special type of pirate back in the day. I don't know. This is before the drives. Before even this is way back in the day. But they were buccaneers, and they hunted pirates. And one of the things about them is that they got their name from barbecue.
There's no way that's true, but I'm gonna let that.
No, it's literally true. Buccaneer comes from the Spanish term. Yeah, it comes from the Spanish term for cooking for barbecue. Yeah, it's called like
barbacoa is the name.
No, it's called It's like literally buccaneer, like bucanero.
I don't know about this.
Dude, look it up. Look up the etymology of barbecue. Of buccaneer.
I know.
It comes from that.
I know the origin of barbecue.
Because these are dudes.
It's the origin of buccaneers.
It's because these are dudes who got stuck on islands and they learned how to hunt feral pigs and they learned how to cook them. Okay. And that's where they got their names. Yeah, it comes from buccaneer.
I'm going to choose to believe you until the comment section eviscerates you.
All right, sure. It's honestly true. I listened to a pirate audiobook.
Okay.
And it's weird because it's cool because we're in a weird spot where there's like not really pirates, but it could be pirates. And there
are pirates. You have a jump ship full of pirates.
The term buccaneer comes from the French boucan, a grill for smoking of viande boucanée or dried meat for use in ships at sea.
I think he's got you. I think that's
that's
barbecue.
totally it's close
roasted
to
or smoked meat. Like you can draw the line at whatever barbecue is, but smoking hog is
you're grilling meat. A grill for the
slow and slow.
Yeah.
Barrett chuckles, and the two of you get out. It is a open garden walk where there are small placards explaining the genetic history of this particular arrangement. The reason for this arrangement, the artist who made it, and the botanist, if not the same person, who created the flowers. There's a lot of talk on some of them, about the significance of this arrangement. This piece here represents my thoughts about my mother. The harshness of this planet and the way that she reminded me about gentleness is brought out by the arrangement of lilies around the single rose, which represents me. That sort of thing. Not all these are... I mean, I don't know how your artistic eye is. There is a huge derivation in what you might call level of skill, level of presentation. Some people are much better on the placards at explaining what they're doing. Some of them just have placards that are just artist, botanist, end. No explanation at all. And you're left to interpret what you're looking at. You're approached by the first person you've seen so far, and whatever passes for civilian dress here. It's a I mean, it's such a broad spectrum. I'm gonna say that they're Caucasian European American, right? Light skin, graying at the temples, looks like they're 5'6". They have extremely short cropped hair that makes you think that they're probably military of some kind. And they walk with a bearing that makes you think, yes, this person probably wears a uniform regularly. But they're wearing blue jeans and you think it might be berry leather. You don't think it's you think it's a plant rather than an animal leather vest. And nothing else, just exposed torso of a mid-40s guy who's totally ripped from working out all the time. He walks up and he just says, comb back. Oh, I should mention, by the way, I completely prescient. I had said that these people speak Japanese with the Texas accent, and then the literal next day I saw a video of someone doing Japanese with a Texas accent, and it was atrocious. It was so bad.
Forgot you did that. I blocked that out of memory.
Watashi wa?
Stop. It's coming. No, makes me feel nauseous.
I saw that video and I was like, oh no.
It's amazing. He just says, greetings, y'all. Name's Raiden. He holds out a hand for the two of you to shake.
Yeah, I'm familiar with how a hand shakes. I obviously take it, and nice to meet you.
My family planted this garden, and you're like, oh, your family planted this garden. He gestures around. There are thousands of displays in this garden.
Yeah.
I hope that we might walk together for a short time while we discuss a contract.
Well, it would be a shame to see all of their families not enjoy your family's the fruits of your family's labors, and absolutely want to go with him and look around.
Barrett trails back to keep an eye, make sure nobody's interrupting.
Yeah, we do the thing of we look at each other, and Barrett, we know it's going to be a one-on-one conversation, but Barrett's also going to be having my back and kind of stuff. Yeah. For sure. We've done this before, right? Is the idea. This isn't, there's no way we're a mercenary company where this has never happened before. So you can assume we've taken all the necessary normal precautions.
So he walks with his hands clasped behind his back, and he says, "You'll have to excuse me, Mr. Wheat."
Sure.
Lieutenant Wheat. I am not aware of how mercenaries conduct themselves. I have not ever spoken with one, you have to understand.
Yeah.
Everything I've learned is in 200-plus-year-old textbooks. But I assume that anything we discuss between ourselves is totally private, whether or not you accept this job. Is that the level of conduct with which you...
Real quick, though. Like, in my head, sorry to interrupt you, this is really important from a player level. Are we talking about, like, Ken Watanabe doing a Texas accent? Or are we thinking of, like...
Nope.
Matthew McConaughey doing a Japanese accent?
M. Bison not doing a Japanese accent, doing a vaguely Texanist accent.
Gotcha. All right.
Whatever his name, Raul Vega? Whoever played
Doesn't
Bison
matter.
in Street Fighter.
Yeah.
It's a guy who's more European, vastly more European than he is Japanese. Understood.
Big 10-4. Sorry to interrupt you. Okay. Good.
I assume that discretion is guaranteed between us, no matter how these negotiations go.
Absolutely.
I don't think it takes a lot of looking around to recognize that my people are in a lot of trouble.
Oh. I would hate to presume.
Our society is a rich cultural paradise. It is, however, somewhat lacking in genetic diversity.
Continue.
Okay, but he continues to walk for a while past a number of different flower displays in the process. You're starting to pick up, he may look European Caucasianish and he may talk Texanish, but there is a unspoken message that you solidly associate with your Draconis Combine heritage. He's trying to tell you something by not telling you something, by walking through a rich display of multiple different types of genetically engineered flowers. And you're like, okay, I should be a little careful. There's probably something going on with this conversation more than what he said.
I've read, oh, cool. I have to marry his daughter, but his daughter's poisonous. I've read Nathaniel Hawthorne.
Okay.
Got it.
You say continue and he doesn't for another minute or two while you walk, and then he says,
oh, these flowers are beautiful.
Thank you. I find myself looking out at the way that our society presents itself to you, to the way it operates, and I see the death of a people without your intervention. And I wish to ensure that not just now, but for all time, we have the security of the future.
I will not. Yusuf will not comment on the stunning frequency of these existential asks in his life in a year, right? But of course, I have to can't help but kind of chuckle at it. But no, I think Yusuf would probably go. I don't know exactly what Yusuf would say because he's more clever than I am, but he would definitely say something along the lines that's sympathetic, that something to the gist of there could be no other, that's what more noble endeavor could there be than making sure that better futures are protected. Our better future generations are safe and in order. Are you a father?
I am not, and that is, as some might say, the core of this particular issue. My people have, over the last century, undergone a process of reducing the number of children that we're having so that we do not suffer a hastened genetic collapse. But as you might suspect, our population numbers are declining. At some point, even with automation, we will no longer be able to sustain ourselves, whether it is because those born are unable to live or those who live are unable to have children.
I see. Oh.
I understand that the noble art of the mercenary is what they call the second oldest profession.
It's one of the nicer terms for it. I've heard many.
Part of my plan will certainly involve the use of the second oldest profession, but I'm not certain this idiom still exists in your region of space. What do you know of what they call the world's oldest profession?
I laugh into a beautiful like lily, you know, that's and
So
be like,
you know what I'm
nah,
talking
that's
about.
still one. Yeah, that one stuck around. that one's still here.
My people require
Sir.
your people, specifically your men.
Wow. Okay.
I don't know whether you would consider it payment or a duty, but from my point of view, we need your men. There are many here on Karkri who would be willing to offer themselves to your people.
I'm just thinking about like half my fucking mercenary company being told this right now.
Yeah.
And like and be like, this is the easiest job in the world for them. And be like, well, I will say that you know, my mercenaries are lovers or fighters, not lovers. This might be a hard sell.
I have a fight for you as well.
Okay.
Though I wish I did not. My understanding is that your organization, your fleet, will be asked to host the New Year's Eve, New Year's Day ball.
Yes, that is correct.
My staff has prepared a list of names of people for you to invite. We have provided the entertaining, everything you need for the ball. If you are to invite these people, we will detain them on the spot and dismantle the current government as a result, quickly replacing them with a new, more stable, forward-thinking organization that will survive through these crises. Now, before you say anything, my understanding is that you personally have been asking about double heat sinks.
That's true.
Around here, we just call them heat sinks.
Right. Well, unlike the first and second oldest, yeah, and unlike the first and second oldest professions, they're not something that sticks around in a lot of parts where I'm from.
I'm willing to offer you the second mech that is on this planet, one that is kept hidden from the public. You may take it with you when you leave. I assure you, its double heat sinks have been kept in working order. With it, if your scientists are smart enough, you may be able to reverse engineer them. If not, you will still have a fully working battle mech.
Oh. Well, you're asking me for loving, fighting, and as a little cherry on top, or or as the third scoop of this banana split, a little bit of military coup. Your bill will be considerable.
What is a cherry?
It's a type of stone fruit, like a kumquat.
Okay.
Okay.
The mech is not enough for you to sate your appetite?
We're gonna have to look. We're gonna need. Do they have C-bills? Hold on. I would know this. Negotiating.
You have no idea if they have any form of local currency. You have literally not
Hang
seen
on.
them spend
No,
any money.
I would have. Hold on. Okay. I would have. This would be something I would have had a flashback of doing. How do I go to a? How do I prepare to have a meeting negotiations, not knowing that they had the same money as me?
They did.
Right?
No currency has ever changed hands in your presence.
All right. So you don't have. All right. So
make a negotiations check here. They have something else to offer you that you might want.
Yeah, that seems pretty reasonable.
Just a question of whether they're willing to offer it to you. Ooh, not like that though.
Not like that though. I don't think a 9's gonna get me it. I'm not gonna spending out an edge or reroll or anything.
For negotiations?
Yeah.
What about a plot point? Let me ask you a question. What are you gonna spend it on? What do you think you're gonna spend?
You know what? That's a good point. What am I talking about?
We only have slightly more than an hour left. What do you think you're gonna spend it on? Jesus.
I rolled a 1 again, so
wow,
who cares, dude? Like, what is it? This is my life. All right, cool.
Your total is a 9 then?
Yeah. So
you can see he's considering offering you a number of different things, and he says, all right, the mech isn't enough for you. I have something else. You briefly talk about currency, and he's just like, what's that? What is currency?
Right.
I can speak with one of the Mikos about releasing a... Oh, I'm sorry, Rad. I'm just going to do it because he's from Texas. Because the guy who said it is from Texas. I will release to you a nuclear weapon. Thanks, President Bush, for giving us that dream.
It's a quite a considerable bargain. Well, it must be very important to you that you are the one leading the future of this world.
I don't see myself as becoming the new colonel.
Well, what do you see yourself as, sir?
I'm the one presenting this option to you so that others do not expose themselves to undue risk. Allow me to be clear.
Right. We all serve other masters. I understand. Well, your offer is very generous. What's out of character timeline for a second? What's the timeline for when this would happen? Is this like in 12 hours, or do I have like a day to prepare?
1 week.
1 week. Yeah.
They want to have. They've prepared the ball for you.
Yeah.
They want you to execute their plan, which would be to invite whoever they think is in charge of the government, so that they can trap them there and take over.
Well, you have to understand, I have a policy of never saying immediately a yes or a no to any job without at least a 24-hour notice. So perhaps you'll hear from me.
He gets out a business card from a business card holder in his vest, and he presents it to you in that Japanese Sarari man way.
Yeah.
Then he holds out another hand for you to shake and says, I hope to hear a positive inclination from you soon. I know it must seem rather villainous and traitorous to take over one's own government, but I'm trying to save the people here as best I can. There are many people who believe in this cause.
Sir, I'm a mercenary. If I stuck to moral principles around what should be and shouldn't be, I'd be very broke or dead.
I hope to hear a positive answer from you soon, sir.
Oh. Your discretion is guaranteed in the meantime.
He stops you in front
of for now.
A flower display.
Yeah.
Gestures to it and then leaves.
What do I see about the flower display?
What passes for insight? Do you have any scientific skills that might relate to botany, gardening, or philosophy?
Well, I'm a farmer.
I'll buy that. Make an intelligence roll. You need a 9.
Sure. Well,
that looks pretty good to
guess
me.
You got a 10. Boom. Who needs persuasion when you can just roll this? Okay.
The piece that he stopped you in front of looks like one, if the date is correct, one that he made about 20 years ago. And you're doing some math here. You're like working. You're trying to figure out what the hidden message here could be.
Yeah.
He took... You've noticed a theme of certain genetics throughout. Like, his family has used very similar plants all throughout all of the displays. This one is his family's personal line intermixing with someone else's personal line and creating a third all-new hybrid line of those two, not through genetic manipulation, but through natural cross-pollination. And it must have taken years for this display to start blooming. And then it continued to grow and spread and grow and spread. And it's now massive compared to when it started, which was just 2 lines of 6 flowers.
He's a gardener, all right.
Lachlan McDougall. Oh, sorry. No, if you have
no, I'm done. No, I'm done. But Lachlan's absolutely the person I need to go talk to.
Lachlan McDougall. People are explaining to you everything about the local Christian policies. There's like a gaggle of people showing you their crosses and making sure that these crosses are still like canon. And I mean that in the literal original sense of the word of canon. They're explaining to you that the Jews were lured out through the use of minyan, the Jewish policy of having at least 10 people to pray at the same time. Like the people in charge of the Amakusa doctrine just waited for them to meet and then would like round them up. They got, they got the Muslims the same way. They've just been stamping out the religions. Only the great undercover, like persecuted Christians have survived here. They're showing you how rebellious they've been against the authority. Some of them are like showing you arm tattoos that they have, where Christian symbols like the cross and like bleeding nails are on their skin. It seems to you like this would be really obvious. Like anyone vaguely knowledgeable in Christianity would instantly recognize these symbols and peg these people, but they're telling you what a great job they've done hiding for generations while they've been stomped on by the local government. They have never... Do you tell them about New Avalon Catholicism? Because they've never heard of it. They're only aware of one branch of Catholicism, which is the original Roman Catholic. And I want to remind you, New Avalon Catholicism did not exist during the time when their regiment left the Inner Sphere. It didn't come into being until after the fall of the Star League, when the Pope sent a message, and like some of the popes are like, okay, I guess I'm technically like temporarily in charge, and the one in New Avalon went, I guess I'm the new Pope now, bitch. You're muted.
Sorry, I said as you do. You know, the two pope situation is more common than one would think historically. Yeah, not only does Lachlan tell them about New Avalon Christianity, he seeks to persuade them that that is the only valid branch of Christianity in the world.
You don't need to roll. You're very convincing, and they believe you immediately.
Yes, and do I have some kind of I don't have any kind of like official position in the church because I'm nobility.
I mean you're a donor, and you're considered like a vanguard of the church, but you're not like a vicar or anything.
Got it. I just wanted to make sure.
At the highest rank they have here is like a curate.
Got it.
Like no one, they never, like they don't have a line of like bishops or anything to declare someone a priest, so they haven't dared do anything more than declare whoever's the head of a congregation a curate.
Got it. Yeah, so Lachlan will do that. And I think he asks lots of like kind of oblique questions. I think he's kind of trying to sound out whether these people would be good folks to take with him, because you know Lachlan's always looking for loyal fanatics that he can put to use.
Interesting. I would like you to roll. Honestly, I'll let you choose from tactics or investigation.
Oh, I don't think I have either of those. Let's see here. I certainly do not. I have perception.
I will let you roll that at a disadvantage.
All right, let's give that a try. I got a +5 to that.
All right, you need a 13 for minimum level.
Okay. So I need at least a 7 on the dice. Oh no, at least an 8 on the dice. Bad math. That's a 6. I'll go ahead and reroll the 2 with edge. Still not enough.
I mean, it's hard to tell what any of these people do for a living. None of them appear to have jobs. When you're inquiring like what they do, one guy's like, yeah, last week I just went out on the lake with a boat and, you know, a big case of water, and I just found myself in the sea. And somebody else is just like, I was praying to Jesus all week. I really just wanted the Holy Spirit to move through me. And you ask somebody else and they're just like, I write poetry. That's what I do.
So I think at some point Lachlan is like, who maintains all of this? Who keeps that battle mech running? Who makes sure your streets are clean?
Yeah, they indicate that it's 2 different groups for what you're asking. Someone here has like more understanding of what it is that you want than the others, and she steps forward and she says, I am Chaplain Nikuya. I think I can answer some of your questions, Lord McDougal. If you're asking for who runs the battle mech, all of our armored fighting vehicles are run by the Pillar of Steel, who call themselves the Gun Club. If you're wondering who keeps organization and logistics going, that is a endeavor between the Pillar of Jade and the Pillar of Gold.
So how do you all decide who works and who just finds themselves in the ocean?
What is work? I'm asking I know what you're speaking of. I'm just asking, what do you consider work? You don't consider finding yourself and understanding your connection to the universe around you to be a worthy endeavor?
Not particularly. In a vacuum, no.
Okay, this is shocking news to her because she does. And when you say that, she's like, wow, okay, I think the Bible literally says something about this, but all right.
I mean, if she's gonna like be quoting scripture at him, I think
for sure she'll quote scripture at you.
I think the nice thing about the Bible is that you can pretty much like find something to make any point that you want. So he's just gonna quote some scripture back about like, you know, the effort of one's hands or like some, you know, something like that. I'm sure that exists. Like, you know, the value of like the sweat of one's brow and the work of one's hand, you know, something like that.
I mean, but that would just be proving her point, is that the people that you are lightly mocking are also putting effort into things they find value in. Is her counterpoint to that.
I think he's like, his point is that like contributing value to society, to the society around you, is different from contributing only internal value, like only to yourself. I think that's maybe what he says.
Are like, I'm going to think on that for a while. Let me write some poetry about it.
Yeah, I think that's maybe what he says. Is something like but surely like the people maintaining your logistics and keeping your armored forces running are contributing more to the greater good of your society than the simple self-actualization does. Self-actualization has value, but it's leisure.
Those who choose to be a part of the Pillars of Steel and Gold may do so, but we still find value in the Pillar of Jade. It is important that one remain balanced, not both in the self and in the society, in their pursuits.
Tell me more about all of these pillars, if you don't mind.
Okay. So there's 5 pillars: gold, steel, ivory, teak, and jade. This is not a surprise to you because those are also the 5 pillars of Combine Society, the Draconis Combine Society. The pillar of gold is authority. The pillar of steel, well, I'm telling you the Draconis Combine version of these. Pillar of steel is the military. The pillar of ivory is spiritual enlightenment. The pillar of teak is I think it's merchants, and jade is like entertainment.
And does she explain all these to him?
Yeah, so she explains that like people who want to keep society working volunteer their time to do so. But like everyone wakes up in the morning and they can get a meal. If you want to move your house, you have to like schedule it in, but your house will literally be uprooted and moved to a new area. If you want to just go out into the wild and find yourself for a while, that's considered a worthy pursuit. She's telling, like, again, you're not seeing like huge factories anywhere. The main pursuit of these people appears to be cultural and artistic. There is a entire museum dedicated to an argument that started from one letter about a bad review of a movie. And the museum is dedicated to the analysis of everyone who responded to that letter and responded to that critique and responded to that critique. There are thousands of letters, messages, poems, songs written about this one not very like looks like it's a very average like action movie that have been preserved by someone who thought that people should be able to look at this kind of breakdown of society, look at how we treat each other, and that it was important to see one 91-minute film resulted in years of contemplation, of social upheaval, of like strain, and how that's the way that we have chosen to interact as humans. There's like no message presented at this museum. It's simply this is how we acted. In the year 2891, someone released Enter the Fistian, and it got reviewed, and that review was reviewed, and someone got angry about it, and someone got angry about that. This is how these people spend their times. So like, she takes you to that museum, and you're standing in like a gaggle of like 4 Christians, undercover Christians, and the chaplain, just like looking at thousands and thousands of letters. It seems very weird to you that this is how people would spend their time.
I think Lachlan finds it all like, I don't know, very vain and self-centered. Like, if he learned that this society was crumbling apart, like, I think he would be like, yeah, well, no wonder. Even though it's like obviously has not a whole lot to do with how they run their society and has a lot more to do with genetic diversity problems, he would probably see them as, you know, being the same.
I mean, some people on this planet do see them as being the same issue, but please go ahead.
I think, but he's too polite to just be like, your way of life is stupid. You know, he's too diplomatic. I guess polite's probably the wrong word. Yeah, I guess probably at the end of this, Lachlan will like kind of try to take his leave and sort of be like, do it like, oh, well, I'll think on this, and this was all very interesting, and blah blah blah. But before that, I think he will try to do some kind of probing at sort of, you know, ostensibly they have these sort of 5 pillars and they're kind of equal in their own rules. He wants to know like who's really calling the shots.
It's a great question. What kind of
probably investigation again?
Yeah, are you? So where are you? Are you asking people? Are you investigating cultural touchstones in these museums?
I think it's more that, like, because so one of the things, it's been a while since we've seen it, but Lachlan, his background was in like kind of political science scholarship, so I think he would kind of try to use like different cultural touchstones and different, like, you know, if he sees like signs that have you know, messages that could be political messages, if he sees, you know, anything that could be you know, termed propaganda, he's going to try to use that kind of to like sort of piece together what the sort of underlying like real politique of this society is, if that makes sense.
Excellent. Make that roll.
All right, I have a +5 in no politics.
Survey says
7 + 5 is a 12.
I can tell you that 12 will pass, but if you want to learn more, a higher roll will definitely get you there. 12 exactly was what you needed, so taking a plot point for a +1 is not going to help you.
I do not think I should tempt fate here. If I re-roll this, I am just going to get a worse roll.
There is present in some of the body art that you see on some of the members of this Christian undercover organization, in some of the art that you see moving through the museums, in some of the architecture, you see themes of violence that are way out of tone with everything else here. Like, these people do all drive in cars with laser turret cannons on top of them, and they do have one giant battle mech, but that's it. Like, that's the full extent of the visible defense force here. You don't see people walking around with laser guns. The uniforms don't come with standard issue sidearms. You haven't seen any crime or violence in your time here at all, or signs that that thing exists. You don't like, you see something for MPs, but you don't see, like, they're like phone booths that you can call an MP. There's no like police stations.
Huh.
And yet, somehow, in this tranquil, peaceful society of people who go out on a fishing boat for a week, there's somehow this undercurrent of violence in their society, which has expressed itself in the thing that they most treasure, their culture and art. And you're like, there's a disconnect here. And yeah, that must be important. It's something related to your search.
Okay. Interesting.
Eddie,
I think.
oh, sorry.
Go ahead. Sorry.
I was going to ask Eddie if he's got his third question yet.
Yeah.
But, hold on. Lachlan said it sounded like he had a follow-up.
Go for it.
Well, I was gonna say it sounds like this is kind of like what Lachlan has been doing over this like day or so. So I think like at the end of the day, he would kind of share his findings with Anko and Yusuf.
Well, let's figure out Anko's third
the kind
question.
of crew, I guess.
Yeah. So, oh, dang it, I had it and then I lost it. Sorry about that. Oh God, what was I thinking?
So they give you the second part of the Trifid code that you need, and like a framed photo of your husband's Battlemech sitting up. So it's been smacked.
Yeah, okay.
Like there's no recovering this mech, right? Like the cockpit and half of the left arm structure are permanently fused into this jump ship in a way that, you know, like if you remove it, the jump ship will probably have a giant hole in the side of it, sort of deal. Like that mech is toast.
Right.
But enough of it survived to have its serial code and his, you know, pilot name on the right arm.
And you know, having seen these kinds of crashes, because I think, okay, so to kind of recap, I think we found the information that we wanted around the jump ship, or at least some of the information. And one of the other goals was to uncover more about maybe this secret faction, or around you know, how this culture has survived with technology that is far more advanced. Like, do they have an education system to maintain these things, or to even like you know, manipulate them in some ways, right? Like, do they have the knowledge of this technology that they are currently utilizing to run their society? So those are kind of the two things that I'm looking for. I'm leaning towards like, this automation would be huge in terms of our ability to survive out in space for long periods of time.
I don't think there's
on Whittington.
There's like no way to integrate this into the jump ship fleet in the short term.
Okay. Even the defensive units?
I mean, how would you make it work?
So my understanding was they're remote piloted, right? Is that like...
Oh, you want them to give you some of their Black Wasp drone interceptors?
That was one idea. The other was...
I'm not saying that's impossible, but you better offer them something real good.
Yeah. Okay. The other would be like the agricultural stuff.
Again,
like
not going to integrate with the jump ship, but definitely could take home some like blueprints or something if you ask them nicely, or manage to espionage and steal the blueprints.
No, I think asking them nicely, because they've been nothing but kind, is the route I would want to go for that. So, but I think like this would be like a cultural boon for Whittington and like something to bring back. So if worst case scenario, like my husband's dead and we don't find the thing that we're looking for, we bring something back to Whittington. So I think that's one of the goals that Anko has.
Is that the one you want to pursue here, is asking around about that?
Yeah, I think that's the one I want to pursue for this.
I will let you choose between investigation or negotiation.
Negotiation is a +8. Investigation is only a 6. So let's do negotiation.
Just to be clear, these are going to give you different things.
Okay.
Different outcomes. Choose your next words carefully.
Investigation, I'm guessing, would be like the specific things that I'm looking for. Negotiation would be like how much they or whether or not they part with it.
No, I think that how you acquire it and what they're offering you will change depending on which one you roll. You want a lot of stuff.
Okay.
I don't think it's in your ability to get all of it all at once.
Sure. Let's do negotiation, because I feel like that's kind of the route that we've been going with these people, because they've been nothing but kind, and there's potentially some things that we can help each other with.
Okay. You need a 10 to convince them to part with some of the data.
The blueprints and potentially more?
That's such a terrible roll.
Oh, I mean, I have an 8 already, so...
It's still a bad roll.
I know. So I'm going to re-roll the 1 with an edge.
Very well. That's better.
That is better. So 8 plus 8 is 16.
10, 12, 14, 16. Okay. Your computers are not able to process the data that they give you.
Oh, shit.
They give you something you'll need to be back on Whittington to decode. They give you Star League era data files that are heavily encrypted and like super condensed data. It's basically like if someone handed you a zip file in the 80s and you were just like, what the fuck? You're muted.
This is in megabytes?
I mean, that's the thing. Gigabytes.
This is definitely like terabytes of data. Like they hand you, they like print backup drives for you of all this data and like hand it to you like it's nothing. But for you, the ability to create, and it's not just like this is how you create those robots. It's also like this is the programming, and this is how you can alter the programming to accomplish different things. It's a lot of data.
Dope. Yeah.
It also includes the networking satellites you'll need.
Oh, shit.
So, like, for instance, this will be huge for the house Hiroka if they were to get their hands on it. Yeah. They have one set of this for their main field, but one field, right?
Yeah.
If they are able to coordinate all their fields with workers like this, they will be able to get rid of a lot
revolutionize.
But they'd be able to get rid of a lot of human workers as well, and basically the family would permanently own its own destiny, right?
Yeah. And those workers could be, put somewhere else and used in more white collar stuff. Okay,
you get a little bit more. That's not everything.
Cool.
They are willing to offer you a lot of data on a format more compatible with your computers of like some of their, I would consider it propaganda films, but it's basically just like, you know how the almost every military does this, but like military films are almost always subsidized by the country that they are filmed in, by their military. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Michael Bay and the United States Army have a hand in the wallet relationship sort of deal. And in Japan, again, a huge number of films with action military scenes in them have the Japanese Self-Defense Force budgeting them.
Mm-hmm.
There are, let's call it patriotic films that they're willing to offer your people, but it's basically like their selection of mech action movies. When you're watching them, most of the mechs, it's like those cardboard or like actors in suits fighting each other, because they don't have mechs to fight each other.
Oh,
so like a dude is in a cardboard. their dude is in a cardboard mech cockpit, like using controls that clearly wouldn't work, right? He's just, all right, let's power up the ER large laser. Go!
Is this like Ultraman?
Yes, it is
style?
Ultraman.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Perfect.
It's like 100 years worth of military action films that they are
from
willing
the planet.
From Karkri, yes.
Amazing.
It's like the Centennial Collection.
Oh my god. Yeah, of course it is.
There are a lot of movies in here. A lot.
That's huge. Even if we're like, I think we do like a campy movie night on the ship later on, where it's like we just watch these films and we're just like, dude. I mean,
at this point, anything is probably better than the same
Yeah,
thing
exactly.
we've been watching for a year and a half. Like,
exactly. It's like, wow, I can't believe these guys did this, but it's amazing. And just like that. Oh, Eric, you're muted.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Even The Bachelor would be entertaining.
Yeah, exactly. Where it's like you just kind of you enjoy the badness for its like whatever novelty that it has.
Hold on.
One thing
we're still not done. That was only a 14.
Okay.
You are noticing as this data is being handed over to you, the people involved in making the films, the people involved in handing you over the data, there is a correlation in their tattoos, and like specifically around the neck area. There's something about their tattoos, even though they are clearly from different branches of organizations here. They're different ages, different ethnicities. All of them have a similarity. And it's not like all of them have the exact same tattoo, but if you were to take these three people, they have a similar one. One of those three people also has a similar tattoo to two other people. And one of those people, similar, like, it's like a Tetris of people who have some sort of similar theming. And it just makes you go, huh, wonder what that's all about.
Yeah. No, and I think like because the characters don't necessarily know about this hidden faction yet, but there's like it's like kind of that pattern recognition of you're starting to see something in the culture because you're looking, trying to understand this culture. The one thing I was going to ask, now that you've kind of gone into the details, I'm assuming.
You're fully done. You're fully done here.
Okay. The one thing I was going to ask was like, and maybe this is something that we either sub with one of the other items, or maybe it's something that I have to roll for something else. But like, they have this technology to store all this data, and it's not compatible with my main ships, maybe. But is there like a converter port that I can insert some of this data, or things that they have to do that? Because that's one thing I was thinking of, because I know that I have some SLDF technology, but
you don't have any way to access this data until you get back to Winnington.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna see if there was like a way for me to have like the machine that can read this or anything like that. But okay, no worries. That's amazing. That's a lot of really good information.
The three of you and whoever else you want come together before the Christmas Eve ball tonight.
All right. Yeah, I think I would disseminate at the very least that I have found the ship and my husband, and then yeah, I think I would go with that. And that there may be a hidden faction that connects the others in some way.
I guess Lachlan would share what he learned, which isn't a whole lot, but
yeah. I think the main thing that she would tell people or tell you all to look out for is the neck patterns that I was spotting. And just to kind of see like how those individuals interact with others at the ball?
I would love to ask you to cross-reference the guy I was talking to. I forgot his name.
Oh,
Because yeah,
Raiden.
you know what? Raiden. Yeah. So
Does he have the neck tattoos?
yeah. Did he have the neck tattoo?
Make a
I didn't-
perception check.
I didn't notice.
Retroactive perception check.
Yes. Yes, I love it.
That's
Come on, buddy.
fucking box
Double
cars, buddy.
sixes.
Yes, let's go.
He doesn't just have a similarly themed neck tattoo. You saw him with only a vest on. He also has a cross tattoo on one of his arms.
Oh,
Hidden
shit.
under, it's hidden between a battle between a being throwing lightning and a dragon as they battle up a hill.
Nice.
So speaking of the cross tattoos, did Lachlan see that in the group that he was convincing about like the existence or the Christianity outside of this world? Did he see those neck tattoos by chance?
Make it, well, he saw tattoos of violence, but I will allow you to make a retroactive perception check.
Okay.
You're muted.
We're
We
piecing
got
it
a
all
lot of
together.
muting today.
Yeah, I know.
We're off our game,
You're
boys.
still muted, buddy.
Okay, I will roll that. I have perception of 5.
Come on, buddy.
Well, all you
got
gotta do
this.
is roll 2 6s. Should be the EricVulgaris. What the?
What?
Unbelievable. He did roll 2 6s,
Damn.
folks at home.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Double box cars.
Awesome.
Not all of them.
We are unraveling
Had-
this mystery.
1 in 5 of the people had a tattoo around their neck with some sort of common symbology that the other 2 here have described to you.
Okay.
Okay.
It's like black stars in like a line, a particular red flower, a church, I forget what the gates are called, the like red wood painted gates.
Tory Gate?
Tory Gate, yep. Tory Gate is a common theme.
Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Okay. So,
And we're noticing this like at the party, right?
well,
No, this is
that was
this-
all retrospective.
this is all
Yeah.
before. I'm absolutely. I had to talk to you before. So like this.
Yeah. So now like we're gathering and I mentioned the tattoos and in your minds you're like, wait, I saw those too.
Yeah.
And so now it's like, oh, we need to ingratiate ourselves. There seems to be an undercurrent here of different things. Something not on the surface.
Lachlan just
Oh.
nods, yeah.
Anko, there's more than just a undercurrent, or
Yes.
there's an outright rebellion.
Is that? What
Yeah,
did
I
you
shouldn't
find out,
be-
Yusuf?
I shouldn't be telling you this as part of this is my mercenary jobs, and I promised discretion.
I make sure that no one's around
know.
to be able to hear us.
I obviously wouldn't be sharing this in a spot where it wasn't already
Yep,
valid.
I
yeah,
understand.
yeah.
I'm not
Yeah,
here to
yeah.
screw you over on this one.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But well,
You
but as an I consider myself a knight first and a mercenary second. I was asked to do a job. I was told I could be given a list of people. I've arranged correctly at a dinner table. They'll be arrested. A new order would be established here. One not led by Mr. Raiden, but the ones he works for or with. Neck tattoos.
interesting.
Now, part of me is inclined to discreetly find out who these people are, and if we can get a message to and how to play this.
Yes, arriving here and being implicated in a coup does not necessarily leave us with a high standard unless they are able to win and hold their standing. As history is written by the victors.
McDougal, they're offering double heat sinks.
They have such things.
Apparently, they just call them heat sinks here.
That's probably because they are commonplace.
They're also asking for they have a couple other asks. I just leave it at that.
Oh,
yes, they have a genetic deficiency.
Isn't that what you found out, Lachlan?
And they need strong, hardy men.
No, that was not me.
Oh, was you?
Oh,
Yeah,
I also
you figured
found
that out.
You did a science roll, yeah.
Last episode you found
Oh,
out that
right,
they
yeah,
have
yeah.
Berg syndrome.
Sorry.
Sorry.
Didn't mean to cut you off, Eric.
I totally forgot about that. My
No,
bad.
you're great. Yeah. They need strong, hardy men to replenish their gene pool. And now I'm sure my 4 pilots will this will just be a sacrifice they're willing to make.
Yes.
It's a very interesting situation.
Part of me is disinclined to get involved in such political instability, but the technology certainly changes things.
And if they are able to hold, that gives us a strong ally in this periphery.
I would prefer if we could orchestrate it such that their success is detrimentally reliant on us. This only works if they are so deeply in our pocket afterwards that they have no choice but to cave to whatever we want to do next. If we can't achieve that outcome, I don't see any reason to get involved.
Now, there's nothing stopping us from going to the government right now with the information that we have. And as a dangle information, and in return, get our double heat sinks anyways. And this way we don't.
Well, it does seem that the new organization is attempting to do something more about the problems. The question is, why are they trying to change regimes, as it were? What is
I didn't bring up
satisfaction?
I don't know. Normally, I don't stick. It's something that's a part of the scheming that I'm not very strong at yet. Normally, I'm just worried about how to get ahead rather than the reasons behind them. But there is something that makes that is a twist to this as well. Have either of you have any dealings with the Taurians?
Yeah, that's a good question.
The Concordats?
I don't think so. They're pretty far away. They're located on the other side of the Federated Suns.
But you know their reputation.
Would I have maybe met some of those people on Solaris?
Yes.
We never would have met them either, but we would absolutely know about the fighting between the Davians and them.
That is
back
classic.
in the day.
So
yeah, that's what I mean. There's some classic shit.
Taurians are basically like mini Federated Suns who are upset because they're like, the Federated Suns isn't Federated Suns enough, and they try to screw us over.
Oh, those are the bad guys in the Harebrained Schemes game, right?
Yes, they are. Yeah,
well, they're mercenary types. Yeah.
No, the main bad guy whose dropship explodes at the end is they're the backers of the Irano Restoration enemies.
Yeah,
right.
Okay,
yeah, they're the main.
That's what I thought.
So, they're the ones that never signed the Ares Treaty.
They're not the only ones. There was a second group that didn't do it.
Yeah, I think they're the famous ones.
Yeah, sure.
All right. Well, I think
Yeah, these guys don't know what the Ares conventions are.
Indeed.
That's because the Ares conventions
never happened for them.
Yeah,
I know. That's what I'm. This is the part I'm leading up to. To make a short of it, they offered me nukes.
I see.
They offered you a nuke. Let's be really clear here.
Yeah.
So the Ares convention basically outlawed nukes. Is that
nuclear? Yeah, the Ares convention. Yeah, weapons of mass destruction. As well as some Geneva illegal. Convention. Yeah, Geneva Convention kind of stuff.
No one follows it anymore, but it's considered to be like a code of conduct that Battlemech pilots should, but often fail to live up to.
Got it. Okay.
We have failed to live up to it.
Well, our hand was forced.
I mean,
you landed on Valentina.
We literally just attacked a mansion.
Attacked a civilian target and then blew up a spaceport. You fought in an urban environment. And
well, okay,
civilians.
yeah, right.
Yeah, I mean,
you're right. No, that's fair. No, the mansion. Yeah, no. Okay, yeah, you're right. When you're right, you're right. I was thinking more.
That one girl's.
I was actually thinking about Samuel Barrett. How we met Barrett's privateers.
We also did that because we shot into the buildings to try to kill him.
Yeah. I was thinking about that was hilarious. Now that he works for me.
Listen, I'm no military lawyer. Okay.
Yeah.
It's your planet. You had a duty to defend it, and the infantry entrenched themselves in a building. Okay. It's not great optics, and it's probably not a good idea to shoot up your own apartment buildings full of civilians. But the people in that building were also shooting at you.
Yeah. So, anyways, I know
I am taking the law of war this year.
Okay,
and there would be a pretty strong argument that it would be legal in the way we look at it now. But
so here's the thing, though. I feel like having a nuke would be awesome.
Yeah, it would.
It's very hard. Yeah.
So let me be clear. In the current timeline, no one publicly claims to have nuclear weapons. But it is known that every great house secretly has a stockpile of nuclear weapons, just in case somebody fucks around and tries to take a capital world or like blow up a major Battlemech factory. It's the fuck around and find out factor that,
this is exactly the thing I'm thinking of.
Lachlan would love to have that for Whittington.
No, that's exactly what I'm thinking, is that this is how you secure your stuff, being like, you mess with me, you blow up. Period.
I like this plan. So I think as soon as you say that, Lachlan's eyes light up and he says that changes everything.
It's like very
Lachlan just takes his pants off. He's like, all right, let's do it.
No,
I guess I buried the lead here.
I think what he says is that leaves us two options. The chances of them having only one nuke are incredibly low. We support this coup on the surface. In the meantime, we use the political confusion to take all of their nuclear arsenal. The other alternative...
God, villain Lachlan arc is just reaching its fucking... So please continue, but oh my God.
But the other option would be to turn on these rebels halfway through the conflict, again, using the ensuing chaos to make sure that we get the nuclear stockpile. If we can get these heat sinks as well, that would be a great bonus. But the priority is very clear here. An arsenal of nuclear weapons would change everything for Whittington. This entire voyage would be made justified by this alone.
From like a political standpoint, having nuclear weapons isn't a bad, or not even from a legal and political standpoint, having nuclear weapons isn't bad. Using them is bad.
No, it's having them, and
having them is bad. Also bad. You have to keep it. You have to keep it secret from the general public that you have nuclear weapons.
Yeah.
Oh, Sam, you're muted again.
Basically, you have to find a way to get it to leak to anybody who would fuck with you, but be able to like maintain.
But that's not that hard, though, right? Like,
no, incredibly.
If you back channel and you're just like, hey, you invade us, we'll just fucking. I assure you, we'll send one jump ship with one drop ship. We'll send it to a pirate point, and we'll nuke your fucking planet. I assure you, someone on that planet's gonna be like, I'm taking this threat seriously.
Because you'd be a pretty big idiot not to.
Yeah.
I mean, it also can make you a target, though, right? Like, someone might want to take that. But not just someone that you've threatened, but someone might just be like, oh, man, free nuke.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They
but
would want
you
to
know
do
what?
to you what you're about to do to these people, but please
They
continue with your evil plan.
The Federated Sons might say, well, we really care about nuclear non-proliferation, so as long as you sign this deal and give up your nukes, we'll totally protect you.
Okay, the 2 current events. Please continue with your actual plan.
So we're gonna go. So I'm going to agree with the rebellion for the time being, or are we going to pretend that we go along with them and then betray them at the end?
I feel like the potential of us getting the nukes without betraying them is
Again, if you don't
better.
betray them, one nuke.
Yeah. That's a guarantee.
Guaranteed.
We can always betray them after that.
What I would say is, I believe we should go along and start this coup on its path. And as it progresses, we'll be able to get an idea whether continued support will foment the unrest that we need, or if abandoning our support will do so.
Let us start this evening by finding information about the reasonings, the discontent.
I'll give Raytheon our news, and I will get ready to go tell the 4
Raiden, but okay.
Raiden. I'll go tell Raiden. I'll go tell Raiden. Yeah, sorry. I'll start draft. I'll have Beckett start drafting up the contract details, but I have to go tell God. I cannot believe I'm gonna have to. I get to tell Victor that he has a license to screw. As I'm getting ready to head out.
I think Lachlan will say, no, I don't mean to tell you how to do your job, Captain. Yeah. And this is a bit crass, but I would suggest you prioritize those who have been more problematic in their inability to seek comfort.
Once this information is leaked, it's there's no stopping this.
I mean, legitimately, I was thinking about the special forces crew and like how much tension they have built up, not being able to do.
I won't see these people.
Shit.
I won't see these people for like 3 weeks.
They're just gonna be fucking gone. Yeah, you better. It's like, well, we better let them know that the coup can't happen anytime in the next month. These people are not going to be helped.
They want to do it in a week, yeah.
Oh man.
So I guess maybe that comes. So I guess maybe that comes after, right? As like as a product of the crew.
So,
of the coup.
Yeah. I think that would make sense. I think so. The understanding is that the coup is not going to happen until after the ball, or it's happening during the ball.
I've told you enough of the plan that it's going to happen at the ball. They're using the ball to their advantage. They're basically giving us the ability to set this up.
Got it. Okay.
I don't think I actually said that to you two. It was just in my head from what AP said. But
yeah. Okay.
So the ball's on our court, which is why I was entertaining the idea of like, well, if the ball's on our court, what if we just spun it around, right? What if we turned on them? Because we know the terrain, we could do that in this situation. But looks like we're better off not for now.
Yeah, I mean, that's just Anko's thought. It's like it's better to make friends than enemies.
Agreed.
Okay, you guys ready to do the Christmas ball?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
EricVulgaris, I have a question for you, and I need you to treat this like an adult. Are you telling your mercenaries and anyone remotely in your employ that they can, how can I put this delicately, spread the Christmas cheer with the locals?
No.
Okay.
No, it's decided that this is a post reward.
Okay. You are shocked to find Christmas Eve celebrated with Santa Claus. He doesn't live at the North Pole. he lives in the Sky Palace of House Cameron. And he travels once a year using his jump ship, pulled by reindeer, to drop off presents for all of the good citizens of Karkri, who are all loyal to House Cameron. So he has, of course, been come to known as Cameron Claus.
Cameron Claus.
Cameron Claus. Some of you here are scholars of Alexander Kerensky and like that sort of period, right?
Yeah,
Jasper was.
I took some history. I took history because we were talking about like Lachlan was getting way into like military history and shit.
Cameron Claus does not look like the last First Lord of the Star League, Richard II, nor does he look like Santa Claus. He looks a lot like Simon Cameron, the second to last and fifth Lord of House Cameron, which is a little unusual to you. These people would have known the origins of Richard II, who was his son. But Jolly Saint Cameron goes around delivering presents. Most of the presents given to people at this ball appear to be things that they think about but haven't acquired for themselves yet. It's nothing like, my mom knitted me some socks. It's like philosophical treatise. And occasionally it's an object someone has desired but hasn't made time for themselves to go get. You all have a series of presents, and by series, I mean like hundreds of presents. The people, okay, before you get too excited, not a lot of material goods here.
Boo!
There have been songs written about your arrival. People at let me be clear. You have across all of your jump ships a diverse array of crew who are we've already seen on other planets willing to sublet negotiations about things they have no intellectual property rights over. As a result, Pride in Royals becoming very popular on the planet, as is all of the Immortal Warrior stuff. So like stuffed Immortal Warrior Battlemech bots and like Pride in Royals based fan art and like poems about Yusuf. Like people have only gotten like one real good look at Yusuf today, and already there's like 25 marriage proposals for him. Like a haiku talking about how someone was stunned by your beauty. Will you marry me? It is a weird, unusual, and yet still somehow Christmassy time for all of you. You've been busy all day, and it looks like the ball is going to last 24 hours. There are 5 tables. The 3 of you are guests, and there are 22 other guests, including your host, Colonel Goku. I don't know if there's anything you guys particularly want to accomplish here, if this is where we fade out for your week of planning for your own ball. Although it sounds like if you're going with at least on the face of it, the Rebel plan, all that planning has been done for you already. All you'll need to tell me is, what skills of entertainment will you be telling the guests that you'll be doing, right? Because it's, like, you'll be sending RSVPs and you'll be telling people, like, oh, here's the catering, like, blah, 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 blah. That's all done, but what personal hosting skills will you be displaying while you're there? For instance, Colonel Goku is juggling fire sticks.
Oh my god, Lachlan is really good at acting. He's gonna definitely do he's got like the skull and is gonna do fucking Hamlet.
Oh, okay, all right.
Nice.
You're really, first off, we don't call it Hamlet here. We call it the Scottish play or something.
Scottish play?
Isn't that what it's called? Oh,
That's
Macbeth.
Macbeth.
Oh, Macbeth. My apologies.
AP can't get
I
your
know.
plays
What
right.
else could I do? I have pretty much no other impressive skills. I guess I have a lot of weaponry skills. I could shoot stuff.
You're not sure how that would go down here. Weaponry is not strongly displayed here.
I
I
would
have
say
tech mech.
I have
could
19
rebuild
XP
an
to spend.
engine. I could rebuild an engine in front of everyone.
You would need to have a mech engine to do so first, but
let's see. I could definitely do like the classic Japanese display of prowess, or I could potentially do like a shamisen.
I don't know what Japanese
concert.
display of prowess means. You're gonna have
So,
to be way
like-
more
like-
specific
Sorry, like
in a way that
basically
isn't
like
racist.
Right.
so there's like the samurai's way of presenting their art form, right? So they're basically just going through a kata, but it's kind of like in a more dancey performative way.
Interesting. You have not seen any samurai or you've seen some vaguely samurai stuff here, but like martial arts not highly celebrated here. That your display would be quite interesting, I think.
Okay. So that would be something that I could definitely do well. The other was the shamisen, which I was thinking of.
Sure.
Because it's like kind of like a protocol thing that she
Music,
learned as a child.
always huge here.
Yeah.
Yusuf, what do you got?
Well, it hinges on, we can't really do religious plays, right? We can't do Birth of Jesus.
Yeah, you would definitely be arrested for that.
Ah, shit. Okay. Because how much fun would it be to have gotten those the other worlders to be everyone in the play? All right. I don't know. My thought was doing some kind of giant play with them, and it being the holidays, having a holiday play, but I guess it has to be a secular play. And I don't know. Can I throw my lot in with Sam's giant play rendition?
You're gonna do Hamlet?
I think. Well, maybe I'm wondering. Maybe like
We all do
in order
Hamlet.
to be like more, palatable to this crowd. Maybe we would do like some kind
Oedipus?
of kabuki theater.
I think would be palatable to the crowd would be like a play like that's rather modern that they've never done.
Oh,
and we
that
got
could-
and we kind of like
Yeah, that could be is like some modern like Fed Sons play that we have in the archives. I like that idea. I think that's what they go with, or probably Lyran, right? Because all the good like culture shit comes from Lyran Commonwealth, right?
You listen.
I mean, wouldn't a Lyran play be like
I think
Wagner?
Lachlan certainly believes that. We've seen that Lachlan
Yeah.
and his new wife both believe that Lyra is the. You loved your time on Solaris. I think the citizens of Whittington would think that the Federated Sons has some pretty good plays themselves. But you
What if it was like
yourself-
Pirates of Penzance?
the Federated Sons definitely has very militant comedies for sure.
It's Pirates of Penzance. That's what we're doing. We're doing the Pirates of Penzance, or like a modern version of it. Yeah, that'd be hilarious.
What are you thinking though, Sam? Jasper, sorry, Yusuf could do Pirates of Penzance, but are you thinking something like a Lyran nobility, like merchant drama of like someone coming up from like the story of The Godfather, someone coming up from nothing to like get into the nobility and like blood on their hands the whole time, and then like the slow crippling of their emotions as they lose family members left and right, and at the end of it they're like Duke of a whole planet, but they have nothing. They have so much wealth, but there's nothing left. And it's basically like a condemnation of people who try to rise up to their. Now that I'm saying it, I'm thinking this is not
just a condemnation of Lachlan himself.
I know. When I'm saying it, I thought it was a good Lyran play, but now that I'm saying it, it's like a bad Lachlan idea.
I honestly really do like the idea that Lachlan does a play that's just like would be a scathing indictment of himself if he like could put that together.
Had that level of sourceful reflection.
Yeah, exactly.
So we also do like a little Godfather play of the Lyran Commonwealth. It should be noted the Lyran Commonwealth is very popular among the Draconis Combine. As much as the Draconis Combine loves the the Lyran Commonwealth loves Draconis Combine anime. I think it's canon in Battletech, and I think it's true the other way around, that they love Lyran Productions, even though they're constantly killing each other. Okay, take 5 experience points.
Nice.
We are not going to run tactical ballroom combat, Eric, but you still have it. It's fine. You still have it. Listen, you're reaching for those nukes, brother, and you got fucking Sam Wiseful over here who's like, we shouldn't just take one nuke. We should take all the nukes. And I'm going, this was a miscalculation on my part, but let's go with it.
Yeah,
let's go with it.
The idea of me being part of the, like, being the engineer to basically Whittington's self-reliance or like defense thing would be incredible. Talk about a way for me to get knighted.
Still on the table is a little bit of bonus from me to all of you if you figure out the 6th faction, even though you won't be having the ball. I mean, you will be having the ball, but you will either be arresting the people in the ballroom, or you'll be going to the people in the ballroom and going, let's get those rebels. One of those two things may happen.
Maybe both. Cause a lot of confusion.
I love the idea that Lachlan kills both government organizations and then leaves the planet defenseless with no leadership.
I think that's a very high likelihood of happening when it's like, hey, you need to let us secure the nukes. And then they're like, wait, where are you taking them? And I'm like, don't worry, and just kill them all.
Just taking out the leadership, and then everything's in disarray, the automated stuff, where you're just like, oh, well, here's the control room. We'll just turn it to our side. And then, okay, cool.
Are we good for October the 23rd? I know we can't meet next week, but what about in 2 weeks?
Yep. I think that works.
Very well.
Works for me.
Take your filthy 5 XP. Aim for the stars next time. I want to see drama. I want to see action. I want to see acting. I want to see nuclear weapons changing hands.
Hell yeah.
Next episode, we're going Metal Gear Solid. Okay? That's what we're doing.
I was going to say Tom Clancy, but that also works.
Ah, man, it's not Japanese enough, Tom Clancy.
Fair.
Definitely Texas enough, though. I caught a lot of shit for my portrayal of Southerners from Ratosaurus, so I hope that Raiden, who was always planned to approach in that way, is maybe be less offensive to the Southern palate. I just want to say before we go, Irashimasen, Kyle. Any closing notes or projects we need to announce?
Oh, no. I'm learning how to pilot a drone, though. That's pretty exciting.
That is, well, I'd just be scared about breaking it, you know. They are
That's why I'm taking a class.
I have an unannounced project that, it's never going to happen, but just imagine with me. Yeah. Imagine if we were able to do a production of the Battle of Tokyo that was done like a Ken Burns documentary.
Have you watched the last episode of Solaris Knights?
No.
I open it up with like a 7-minute long, with Dixie playing in the background, 7-minute long monologue set after the FedCom Civil War, talking about how this battle was the start of the FedCom Civil War, and did the battle would be a historical reenactment of it. I think maybe you should just watch the very first few minutes.
If any great minds think like AP, so I guess is the answer here.
Great minds do not think like AP. They come up with original and good ideas.
Oh no.
I think you might like just the very beginning part of it.
Okay.
I'll get that for you. This man over here wants to redo the whole Battle of Tokyo, which, if I recall right, has like 40s plus regiments involved on your
No,
side.
I don't want to read it. I want to do like a reenactment of it, of being like the real history of the Battle of Tukid, where like you have, and you actually do like the campaign book. And so you have you actually play some of the missions.
Yeah.
You play some of the missions, and then you have like, a fake historian of the battle wearing like some fucking space shit, part of like the New Avalon Institute, being like, so this is what happened, like the sources are blah, 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 and like then have like the actual, like what really happened from the soldier's account versus like what the documentary, and just do full on mockumentary mode.
That would be wild.
Anyways, yeah, we're done.
All right. Friends, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Have a good time, Zoe.